Look, there's a lot of sectoral expertise in the broad domain of sustainable development, so water, waste, transport, health, education. And each of those sectors is really important at the urban scale, but what an urban SDG does is much more than that. What the urban SDG does is it looks at the interaction of those things, and it looks at the way that cities are themselves transforming some of those things. So it's about all of those things together, and in a sense about the bits which lie beyond any of those sectors. And you don't get that if you don't look for at cities as a whole. And states are not just nation states. There are lots of other people involved in not just the government of places, but in the bringing together of the various parties who shape places. And that's the stuff you're trying to get to through an urban SDG. In implementation, I think there can be a couple of challenges. One is that I think for quite a lot of nation states, it's going to be very difficult. They aren't either ready or are not themselves articulate about what an SDG would involve for them. So even if they can see the general purpose of it, it's going to take some time to bed that down so they know what to do and they know how to do it. And one of the key things there is that you've got to get so many different parties together, from national treasuries and big financial institutions, private sector financial institutions and households, together with the really big, important professional sectors of energy or transport or any of those sorts of things. So it's complex, and working out what needs to happen as a priority versus what is a nice to do is not simple, and there isn't a massive community of experts. I think there are lots of places where cities have been very effectively thought about and rethought about, and not just in affluent northern contexts. I think there's an enormous number of places which we can look to for interesting innovations. Here in India, but in Latin America, certainly South Africa, where I come from, I think that we've made lots of mistakes, but there's some fantastically good examples of how cities can work with parties from within their own spaces and places, but also with other parties to rethink what they have to do. So yeah, there's no shortage of examples. I think what we've had around the table is a very diverse group of people who are either practitioners, so they're involved in managing cities, or people who are engaged in networks and policy making at the global scale, which is fantastic because they know and understand the community that we're engaging with, or scholars who work on those kinds of issues. So it's been a very mixed group. It's also been a group of people who have real in-depth expertise of particular sectors. So what's been fantastic is the mix of them. So it's like making a good curry, and we've had the right spices.